Deppa!
Hey, William!
And hello, Tallinn. Hello, Estonia. Eesti Laul has a reputation of being one of the kookiest, most innovative national selections in Europe.
You've been?
Oh yes, and this year is no different. There are 20 songs, 10 in each semifinal. We have the songs from semifinal 1. Should we listen and react?
Let's do this!
Semi-final 1 includes 10 acts, including 2 returnees, Elena Born, who of course competed in 2015.
Why didn't you wake me up?
She's singing another Stig Rasta song this year. And then also Lena Kurma, who was the lead singer of Vanilla Ninja.
Switzerland, cool vibes. Why don't you kill me?
Good memory. Well, let's kick it off with Lena. Her song is Slingshot.
Okay.
Orchestral.
Mm-hmm.
We share the air, come and breathing, like the stars in our eyes. Look behind all the illusions. I know that the truth
Good
is
Got that
production.
electro.
Nordic.
in the sky,
Yeah.
there's a rainbow. It is there for you to find. Somewhere in the sky, there's a rainbow. We're in a sleep.
Okay, this could be a sleepy, boring ballad, but the production elevates it. There's only one way we can go.
One love, one heart, one home. We know we're in a slingshot.
She's got a very ethereal voice.
Over piano and horns and electro beats. It's a good mix, isn't it?
It's a good mix, because if they didn't have this production, it'd be another throwaway Eurovision ballad. But, you know, it feels more modern. She's pulling that boring Eurovision ballad into 2016, 17, so it's very interesting, actually.
But I still feel there's something missing.
It's a little sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always talk about, you know, mountains and valleys. So far,
And you
this
need
is-
them in melodies.
This is a very gentle slope.
Mm.
Yeah. Alright, shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Next, we are moving to Elena Born. She is singing In or Out.
Sounds a bit rated R.
Sounds very 1920s. Very Stig Rasta.
So keep it
Keep it.
I like this already.
there, you can be
Sexy.
And you need to get laid.
Who? One.
One needs to get laid.
She sounds good.
And she's got range.
You can see her wearing a very tight leotard and shaking her hips.
It's very belle du jour, isn't it?
Yes, and that's old school. I'm sorry, this is dated. I don't like it.
I like it.
In or out, out.
Come on in.
You're voting on reputation. She's a great singer, a great performer, but the song is mediocre.
No, but I like that vintage style. Cause we ain't got all night.
So many of Stig Rasta's songs come from another era, and Goodbye to Yesterday worked because it was a man and a woman, and it made it less sleepy. She brought the drama. This is boring. I'm sorry.
I disagree. I think a lot of Stig Rasta's talent, you know, they're for televised performances where you can actually marry staging with the lyrics, and I think this is really
I'm
sophisticated.
sorry, this reminds me of Yuri Putzman. I said from the very beginning that song would finish last, and it did. It's just sleepy and not dynamic enough, and this is the same problem.
It won Eesti Laul.
And then it came last in its semi-final in Eurovision. I'm sorry, you've got to think beyond the borders. You've got to think bigger. This is just predictable. It's a 1920s big band sound. We've heard it for decades, literally decades.
Yet 2017.
I'm sorry, if this goes to Eurovision, it's not making the final. Next, we turn to Blonde Ambition. It is Carl Philip, not the Prince of Denmark, who is hot.
He's hot too.
Some piano realness.
On paper she's fine, tells me she's mine, tells me
Oh,
that
very
there's a
Britpop.
here, I don't listen.
This is very Britpop.
I don't wanna listen. Guess it's time to check out. She's pulling me down. It's clear to me now.
That voice is
she's not
sexy.
the one
I love
I'm
it.
missing. Not the one I'm missing. The bitter truth is you're on my
He's got this. He's got this.
Love this.
It's clear already.
We've only heard 3.
Oh, I'll never be the same again. No, this is good. This is convincing.
She's everything but you.
Oh!
Carl Philip is my prince. My Nordic electropop prince. He's pulling Britpop into this Nordic genre. Do you know what I
Via
mean?
talent.
Oh, it has an international flavor. Very east, very west, very old, very new. I love it.
And it's got valleys, it's got peaks, it's got dynamism, it's got movement.
It's got rivers. I'm diving in. I'm getting wet. Carl Philip, come save me, honey! You know what? I like that he's an attractive male singer singing a song that's contemporary now, trendy. We usually wet ourselves over women, female solo vocalists. This is a male solo vocalist who's getting me up, getting me off. I'm loving it.
Do we normally go crazy?
I usually only go crazy for solo female performers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
No,
like male singers do nothing for
I
me.
think I've got a varied palette.
This also sounds jazz. It sounds jazzy. Do you know what I mean? There's a jazz element. There's a not a funk element. There's an
No, I
electro
think it's
element.
quite pop, actually.
No, it's very electro-pop, Brit-pop, but it has this jazz element in his voice. There's a sexiness there. Look, he's pulling it all together. I haven't heard all the songs, you know, in this session.
But you're sending him a postcard.
He's my winner. He's my winner so far.
You're sending him
Yes.
a postcard.
Let's move on. All right. Next, we are turning to Elena. He is singing a song called Big Lottery. Oh, he's an older gentleman. Yes, he's...
Let's see if his numbers come up.
Honey, he's been singing for 50 years, professionally. Hello,
Love his
Hansa. This is some barnyard realness.
Yeah! Yeah! Sing it to me, Daddy! Yeah! I love his voice!
No, he has a lovely voice. It's very 1960s barnyard stomper. But the problem is, most voters don't have barnyards. Or barns. Listen.
Oh,
80-year-olds would dance to this if they could get off their rockers.
I'm ready to dance.
Were you born in the 20s? This is why you like the Elena Born song.
Why did you wake me up?
Okay, it needs to take me somewhere.
Wait! It's building!
Very slowly, because he didn't drink enough calcium.
You know what this reminds me of? A TV commercial, like one of those super marathon long ones where it's a story's unfolding, and right now they've caught fish in the
fish
sea.
stink. This is like How I Melody Festival, and they always have the one act. It's the guy who was born in 1930 who's making his final hurrah. This is dated. This is great because it's including the older generation, but they don't have phones and they don't vote. I'm sorry, this is not leaving the semi... Well, it actually might leave the semi-final as a joke act or a gimmick act because of the age. Very talented, very comforting song, but this is not a
I
Eurovision
love
song.
this gentleman's voice. I think he sings
Yes.
beautifully.
Yes.
And I like what... You know, he's not going to be doing, you know, Pet Shop Boys
We
type
are
electronica.
picking the winner of Eesti Laul. Is this your winner so far?
No.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I'm pleased to welcome him in the contest.
No, it's great they've included him. No, this is great. He's a talent. He probably has one of the better live voices, frankly. He's been at this game for, 5 decades for a reason, because he's got talent. But I'm sorry, this is not a Eurovision song, and I'm looking for a Eurovision winner. Alright, shall we move on? Okay. The next act is Ariana? Beautiful blonde woman. Here we go. Oh, sexy.
I love it.
Ooh,
They are cold and far away. They forget
This is great.
this is good. It's dreamy.
I promise you, yes I do. We won't say
The enunciation is perfect. It's clear.
It's very dreamy. It's very one note at this point.
No, it's fabulous.
Are you hearing Nintendo Super Mario Brothers? This is some xylophone.
This is subtlety with beauty. I love this. This is totes amazing.
This is like, do you remember in the 90s, MIDI files, MIDI, like the electronic backing?
Oh, yeah.
She downloaded one of those. This is, I'm sorry, this is rudimentary. It just plods along, Devin.
It's great!
No, there's no dynamism. It's just plodding.
I am taking a note on her. What's her name? Anandra? Ariadna?
Feel me now. She wants to be felt.
Girl, I am stuffed!
You are feeling her.
I love it!
I like her voice. The breathy Carla Bruni Inya. But this Nintendo backing needs to go. I'm sorry. She's serving some PewDiePie realness with that. Alright.
I think this is the best so far.
No, it's very one note. Very one note. Alright, shall we move on?
Okay.
The next act... Oh yeah. I just realized something.
What?
That, Ariadna, We Can't Stop. It's very, digital polka. It sounds like a polka.
Yeah.
She might get a lot of votes. Is a polka from Poland?
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on. Next up, we have...
But you remember that, song 1273
Rockefeller Street, Get It
Johnny. You know how it starts? It's very like that.
Dream World.
Daylight's fading away.
Yes.
All that MIDI kind of tones.
Yes.
But it has a much stronger chorus.
Yeah, and it also has shape and like a coda and like a bridge. Whereas that, it's just like one flat bridge. All right, moving on. Now we are moving on to Kuku Suvist, and he is singing Supernatural.
Can I just buy what he's selling?
Okay, this is not that kind of show or YouTube channel. You can look up Estonian men somewhere else. All right. I like these electronic openings. It's very now, very on trend.
This is going on for a tad too long.
Sexy voice. Oh, he would buy you a drink and ask you to do all sorts of things.
I'm ready.
He's a Lothario, you can tell. Okay. Ooh! This is some electro R&B.
It's sexy.
Lost in your
Voodoo stuff.
Your body's sexual the way you work it. Okay,
Okay,
now
let down,
this is schmaltzy, cheesy, and sleazy. The beginning was very promising.
And also the beginning was quite stretched out.
And if it had built to something, that would have been okay.
It would have compensated.
Oh, this is dated with a capital D. Honey, supernatural implies an explosion, otherworldly. This is not otherworldly. This is 1970s Harlem. Do you know what I mean?
He just needs to stand in front of the mic and not even sing. I would cast my vote.
Show up with no clothes, maybe you'll get Devin's vote, but musically it's a no.
Not maybe, he's getting it.
For a song that's so sexual you'd expect a climax, but I don't hear one. Alright, we're gonna move on. Laura Pritz is next, and she is singing Hey Kiddo. Oh, she's funky. Oh, you know what? Do you know who this woman is?
Who is she?
She was in Ziggy Wild, that really kind of avant-garde rock band. I think they've done Eesti Laul before, if I'm not mistaken. But no, they're very funky, quite popular.
Okay.
Hey Kiddo.
You're bonkers, but you know how to get
You're bonkers?
But
She
you know
is.
how to get on.
She knows herself. Quirky.
You're bonkers, but you
Very
never
quirky.
teach me. Even when I'm a bitch, you're listening.
Even when I'm a bitch, you're listening. I said it to my husband often.
Everybody's worrying, but why should I?
Yes.
Hey, hey, why should I? We might be trouble, but
3 words. Bubblegum realness.
Yeah, that's alright.
But it hasn't got the joie de vivre of bubblegum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe she's
It's
blowing a
just-
bubble. Maybe she's gonna blow a bubble.
Yeah, that's alright. Hey,
Oh, the bubble burst. It's got a nice tropical feel. I like the wooden instrumentation, the light beats, the ukulele.
Oh,
It's happy.
William.
Listen, it's happy and breezy, but ultimately boring.
But also, it's not committed enough to that genre. It's happy and breezy, but it's middling breezy. It's
True.
middling happy. It's not really taking me there.
There's no drive.
There's no spunk.
You know how sometimes you go to the beach, you have your pina colada, that's great, but then you fall asleep and you miss the ocean, you miss the sky, you miss the birds. You need to be on the beach, but have a Coca-Cola so you stay awake.
No, let me tell you what it's like.
Tell me.
You go to the stream with your pina colada, pretending it's a beach, but guess what? That pina colada has just had so much ice in it, it just waters down the taste. That's what this is. No taste. You know it's pina colada, you see the umbrella on it, you see the little cherry and the pineapple, but guess what? It's the taste of what could become.
She says, hey kiddo, I'm saying bye kiddo.
Au revoir, honey.
It's not a winner. It's not a winner.
But it's interesting because, William, we've often had a lot of talk and you love Eesti Laul, don't you, as a national selection?
I have often loved Eesti Laul, but I do not love it continuously. I thought that last year, I think Yuri's a great singer, but again, I didn't like the song and then it ended up coming last. People said I was crazy, but there are certain songs that I know will do well at Eesti Laul that are good for that market that just won't make it outside of Europe. And I can feel that with a lot of these numbers like Elena Born. But then again, Carl Phillip, I'm sorry. Well, we still have 3 songs left, so let's keep going. Carl Phillip slays. Alright, next we have Karl-Kristjan and Wogo featuring Mayan with Have You Now. Let's see if we're gonna give you us, honey.
It was not long ago.
I like
That's
it
a Zara
already,
Larsson production value opening.
So many hours we wasted.
Do you know the band Postal Service?
No.
This is very Postal Service. It's good.
Are they American?
Yeah, they were hugely popular in the 90s.
Way back home. Would sit by the railroad.
He's got a good voice.
The trains go.
I like it so far.
Yes.
Stood still. There was nobody else.
This is a good vibe.
It's a contender.
Drawing me in.
I'm just feeling, please, give us a good chorus.
This is Eesti Experimental.
It's mixing it up.
It's taking us like this. Oh, good. I love that percussion. This was going. Now they got a squeeze box, an electronic squeeze box. I still like this. You know, this is electronic rock, and it's really working. It's very unique instruments, to the point that I can't identify all of them.
It's almost like the pre-chorus takes over the verses.
We're singing this in a lot of songs this year. Maybe this is a new trend. There's an electronic organ, a zither, a salt shaker. But my favorite part, the rat-tat-tat of that digital drum, their voices work great together. They offset each other. He's got this very pensive, vulnerable,
At this point, I can't even deconstruct it, because I just feel that, you know, why am I just considering merits of all these elements when, quite honestly, it makes bad soup?
This is great for rainy day club music. You're sitting there, you're having your beer, you're depressed, you don't want to dance, but you want to feel. And this is making me feel.
Honey, I don't have those emotions when I go clubbing.
I don't think it will win, because I think staging this, it could get very boring. But I think this is very
It already feels longer than 3 minutes, and we're not even on the 3-minute mark.
I really enjoyed that. It's not necessarily right for Eurovision, but I enjoyed that. Alright, next we have Yano, Rhyme, and Cosmos with I'm Pouring Tears.
Where?
Get me a tissue, honey.
Very 80s.
Very 80s. It instantly sounds like REM, who I love. But they're from Georgia, you know.
Oh, really?
Hey, my people are strong, talented people.
And that's not the Republic of Georgia.
Oh no, Elena. This is very REM. Wow.
Very Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah, very The Smiths.
Yeah, Morrissey! It is
Really
actually.
nothing.
From Manchester.
But they all reached the heights decades ago.
Oh no, Morrissey's a big deal.
Yes, but they all reached their heights decades ago. Okay, dated or vintage? I don't know yet. Oh.
I think it's vintage.
I think it's dated. I love when people sing in Estonian, but with rock, it's not working for me.
The other thing as well is that the balance of the vocals and the instrumentation is off, because I almost feel like I'm having to strain to listen to their vocals.
Previously, we heard very well-produced entries in this semi. This is not well-produced.
It sounds almost like dub.
It sounds cheap. You know what? I think they should go home, write a new song, and come back next year. Because they've got the talent, They just need to work on the production, maybe sing in English, because I think the genre would...
I like the decade they're referencing.
You know, I enjoyed my childhood as well, but, you know, we're not in the 80s. We're approaching 2017, so it's time to move on. Now, look, there is one more act, and it is Limit Ano with Hurricane. Are we in Tallinn or Texas? Honestly, I'm seeing leather boots with some spurs.
Very Dallas Fort Worth.
Very,
Boston.
honey, very...
Houston.
Yes. Very dive bar with peanuts on the floor, hay bales, women in Daisy Dukes.
Gunshots.
Yes, people getting shot in the parking lot. It's the Wild Wild West, y'all. But this sounds like a song that's on a soundtrack to a bad comedy set in Texas. Do you know what I mean? The issue with this genre is very 3-beer throwback peanut.
Unless you do it sophisticatedly, common Lynette's, Dow Bob to a lesser degree.
No, but this is even a subgenre of country. This is Wild West saloon country. He is serving saloon realness, and all saloon songs sound the same. This is a song you play in the movie when two people are about to have a showdown and pull out their pistols. And that's great. It's great for me, but we've heard it so many times before.
Or a drunken scene where somebody flicks a coin at the jukebox and then plays that in a bar.
Yeah, with women in Daisy Dukes dancing on the bar. Very Coyote Ugly.
Very Coyote Ugly!
And I'm gonna have to emphasize the ugly. I'm not feeling it.
Overall, Eesti Laul 2017, yay or nay?
I'm going to say yay, based on the fact I think there are 2 or 3 songs here that A, I would download, and B, that I think could win the overall Eesti Laul in this semi.
So 3 out of 10 is a success to you?
For me, I'm not judging the quality of the show. If I'm judging the overall quality of the show, then I'm sorry, Eesti Laul is never going to be a winner, because they mix it up, which is good, because they want to represent to their population who are watching this show a broad range of Estonian music. So yes, the broadcaster has its own agenda. In my mind, if a selection produces some songs that I would download, then yes, it's a success. What about you?
I'm not loving the current selection. I've never been to Eesti Laul, unfortunately. But no, I'm not loving the current selection. I do like the fact that there are some big names in it. You know, Vanilla Ninja making a comeback. Elena Bourne, certainly I do love her music and her style. But I think overall it's a bit of a letdown. It's a bit of a letdown. I agree again. 3 standout songs for me. 3 or 4
Could
maybe.
you name them? What are your 3?
So I would go for Cara Philip, I would go for Elena Bourne, but my absolute favourite would probably be Ariana with Feel Me Now.
Oh!
Yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely my favourite.
My number 1 is definitely Karl Philip, Everything But You. It's quality. It sounds expensive, it sounds now, it sounds current, and if he can deliver live, because this is obviously a studio version, but hopefully he'll be able to deliver this live and with more energy than Used had. And then my runner-up is probably... oh gosh.
Why didn't you?
No, it's not. Not Hey Kiddo. Have You Now. I quite liked that. Is that the one that was like the Postal Service? Yes, Have You Now.
Yeah.
It's not gonna win, and it wouldn't do well at Eurovision, but I like the song. And then there's some others that are cute. Like, your number 1 is a cute song, but it gets boring and repetitive. Elena Bourne is actually a good song, because it's still in my head. Are You In or Out? I can still hum it. And you can see it having a good stage show, actually, now that I think of it. Are you in or out? You know, pick up my legs, honey!
But I think that every single song has a wonderful idea propelling it.
In any event, that's what we think of the songs competing in the first semi-final of Eesti Laul. Who are your favorites? Who do you think will advance to the final? And who actually has a shot of winning both Eesti Laul and potentially Eurovision? You can let us know here.
That's ambitious!
Yeah, why not? Let's shoot for the stars. You might end up in the moon or the gutter. Alright.
Please follow us, please like us, and please subscribe to our channel.
And we'll see you later.
Bye!